Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Once again, it is Friday night. It is 7 o'clock, and it is time for another live stream. How has everyone's week been? I got to tell you guys, for the first time in a while, I actually feel like I've had a normal week for a change. The past several weeks have been just super busy with all sorts of different things, from going to different places to stuff in the real world, and the stuff with the SS United States last week. It's a good week. Hot again. Oh boy, we've been under a heat wave all week long, and in South Louisiana in the middle of August, that is not a good thing to be under a heat wave, because we live under one as it is from the get-go. What is this normal week you speak of? I don't know, but because I'm just not used to it anymore. So, got a good bit of things to talk with you guys about this week. But here's how we're going to kick things off. I am going to pull up a picture before we get into our news topics for the evening. Did you guys see this image here? T. Andrews, good day. Welcome. Happy to have you with us. Yeah, 86 feels like 97 now. We actually caught a bit of a break from the massive heat wave because we had a bunch of rain come in through the area between yesterday and today. So I figured you guys probably saw this image. And so I'm going to check with some of my sleuths here that are in the chat. And I am going to ask you guys, does anybody know where this image was taken? I remember reading recently, and I forget where it was, that the funnels were going to go to Theodore, Alabama. If you don't know where that's at, if you are on the interstate heading west from Mobile, Theodore is the next town over that you come into. So that's where I heard everything was going, the funnels, the mast, the prop, but I do not know that for sure. I would imagine they have not shipped this stuff off to Okaloosa just yet. I'm drinking lemon water, and I got to watch because there's a few seeds in there. That'll be a show. Dreamer chokes and has to go to the hospital live. They are in Theodore now. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They need paint. Oh, yeah, for sure. And as we know, they are definitely going to get restored. Colleen Marine made an announcement to us about the storage part. Okay, I must have missed that. trying to think. I definitely missed that because it might have been them where I saw that the fun everything was going to Theodore. I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and transition into our news topics for the evening. And we've got some interesting ones this week, guys. So let's pull up our next slide. So, uh, Philippine Coast Guard video shows Chinese ships collide while chasing Philippine boat in disputed waters. Chinese bumper boats. A Chinese Navy ship collided with another vessel operated by its own country's Coast Guard on Monday, while the latter chased a patrol boat from the Philippines at high speed in the South China Sea, according to officials in Manila. The incident occurred near the Scarborough Shoal, a disputed shoal in contested waters. Video of the collision, which Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson Jay Torella shared to social media in its aftermath, shows a Chinese Coast Guard vessel tailing the Filipino patrol boat before a Navy warship belonging to the Chinese military suddenly cuts in front of it. The patrol boat was among several Filipino vessels carrying fuel and supplies to the fishermen in the Scarborough Shoal, as part of an initiative by the Philippine government that calls on its Coast Guard to support the country's fishing industry, according to the Philippine Information Agency. In the video footage, the Chinese Coast Guard appears to slam into the warship's port side, forcing both to come to a halt while the Filipino boat continues sailing on. Torella said in a statement that the collision took place as the Chinese Coast Guard performed a risky maneuver in pursuit of the patrol boat, resulting in substantial damage to the Chinese vessel. There's more to the article, but it just kind of rambles there for a minute, so we're just going to leave it at that. So, did anybody watch this video? Because I definitely watched this. This happened on Monday, and you can see when you're watching it, you can see this ship is tailing it because the video is being recorded from the ship that is being pursued. And just out of nowhere, you see a bow of this much larger Chinese Navy vessel come into the picture, and that's it. That's all you see. And then the collision happens, and eventually the welcome loyalists, welcome Karen. The ship, the Chinese Navy ship, turns over to port. Turns to starboard, and then you can see this image where the bow here on the Coast Guard ship is crushed. Very interesting. Let's see. Our next news article is excuse me, is going to be this right here. And let me get to it. Video shows passenger inside water slide as it shatters mid-ride aboard Royal Caribbean cruise. Video shot by a passenger on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship shows the exact moment an acrylic glass panel broke on a water slide while a guest was inside the attraction. The incident happened on August 7th aboard the Icon of the Seas, which had departed Miami for stops in the Bahamas and Mexico. The ship returned to the port of Miami on Saturday, August 9th. In the video, posted on Instagram, a man can be seen heading down the slide when the glass shatters, sending shards to the deck as water gushes out of the gaping hole. In a statement, Royal Caribbean confirmed that an adult guest was injured when the acrylic glass broke off in the slide while the person was inside. Our team provided medical care to the adult guest when acrylic glass broke off as the guest passed through the slide, a spokesperson said. It does not appear that anyone below the slide was hurt by the falling glass. The water slide remained closed for the rest of the sailing. And as you guys can probably guess, lawsuits are going to be coming. But look at this. It's a good thing That is a tight angle. It needs more of an angle. Like, here's my thinking. When I saw this, my first thought was, good thing you can see the guy landed on the deck, which probably I'm certain had to hurt, but better than going overboard, because I could be wrong, but I think I've seen some of these cruise ships with these slides where the slide kind of partially goes over, off the side of the ship. Imagine, this guy sliding and this thing breaks and he goes straight into the ocean. You know, as we know, many times when you read articles about people going overboard on these cruise ships, it's rare to actually retrieve someone who goes overboard on a ship. So I'd rather take the broken legs or whatever than go overboard on the ship and risk not coming back at all. Why do we need slides on a cruise ship? Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess people like them. I'm not really sure. There was one slide on the Spirit, the ship that I went on last year, but I did not go on the water slide. I was told on mine that a fall from 7 would be deadly. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. It looks like this is a lower deck. If you can see right here, I'm looking at, this is all a deck that wraps around right here. And then there's a lower deck right here. It looks like he would have fell through here and then landed somewhere down on this lower deck. Had to hurt, right? So anyway, let's go on to our next article involving this ship, the Star of the Seas, another Royal Caribbean ship. Let's see if I can get over here. There's video of it breaking. Yeah, I didn't play the video, but yeah, I did. I didn't actually see the video of it breaking. I just saw the pictures. Let's see. So here's an interesting one. A Royal Caribbean passenger falls off a dock while snapping a photo of company's newest ship. A passenger trying to capture a photo from Royal Caribbean's new Star of the Seas ship fell off a pier on Thursday, August 14th. The boat, which holds 5,610 passengers, was docked during a preview cruise at Royal Caribbean's private island in the Bahamas, Perfect Day at Coco Cay, when the code Oscar man overboard alarm sounded shortly after 8 a.m. The guest fell off the dock while capturing footage of the ship on his smartphone. The cruise line had confirmed that the passenger, who has not been publicly identified, was trying to get video of the new ship on his phone. Excuse me. Our team immediately picked him up via jet ski and returned him to shore. A viral photo shows a man in the water clinging to a buoy as a crew member stands on the dock and pulls him up. People reached out to Royal Caribbean for comment. The Icon class 248,663-ton ship had just left Florida's Port Canaveral earlier Thursday before the incident. It is now going back to Florida before it leaves for another cruise from the port on Saturday, August 16th. Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas ship was also docked at the private island when the man fell off the pier. The new Star of the Seas vessel has had a busy week as Jojo Siwa and her beau, Chris Hughes, were spotted enjoying each other's company with a whatever. We're not worried about the rest of that. Anyway, moral of the story, when you are walking on a pier, put the phone down. Just saying. Oh, cool photos, Anna. Eric, welcome. That's got to be the ugliest excuse for a ship I've ever seen. These things are just mean, you guys know what I think of these things. They're absolutely hideous. Um, but anyway, let's move on to our next topic or our final news item for the day. And it is about USS the Sullivans, DD 537 over from, at the Buffalo Naval Park. By the way, guys, I don't know if the video is still going on, but our friends at the Buffalo Naval Park are premiering a new video same time that I went live. So after we're done here, be sure to head over to the Buffalo Naval Park's YouTube channel and check out their newest video. But we got some good news regarding the Sullivans, and let's get into that real quick. So, a grant from Tin Can Sailors will help restore an important part of USS the Sullivans. A small but meaningful grant from Tin Can Sailors will help restore an important part of USS the Sullivans at the Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Military Park. What makes these ships so compelling, why they're so important, is the stories that they have to tell. Bill Abbott said, and I think he's the big cheese over there at the Naval Park, but I could be wrong. And those stories aren't just about the battles they fought, but how the sailors on board lived. The $3,000 grant from Tin Can Sailors, an organization devoted to preserving destroyers, will be used to restore the mess deck on USS the Sullivans. The amount is $3,000. We wish it could be more, Rosen Geit said. At the moment, it's not safe to visit the mess deck. The mess deck gives you an idea of how sailors lived. It's where sailors would eat their meals, but it served multiple purposes aboard the ship. It's also where they socialized, and in some circumstances, mess decks, in the case of heavy battle damage, would be used as a place for surgical procedures. So it's really an important space. The grant will help make the space accessible to visitors again. This is going to lay the groundwork for us to be able to get that space back open again and to be able to share with the public and tell those critical stories. A much larger restoration project is also in the works. USS the Sullivans partially sank in 2022, and the $21 million project is about to begin to repair all the damage. As we know, she's going to be going to dry dock. By the end of next year, the plan is to tow both USS the Sullivans and a submarine, USS Croker, to Erie, Pennsylvania, where they will be dry docked to complete the work. There's a lot of moving parts between then and now, a good deal of work that has to happen both on the site itself and then the ships to make that happen. But hopefully you're going to start seeing activity that will produce that outcome at that time next year. Abbott emphasized this is not a simple undertaking. We know. Ask the kid in New Jersey and the Texas. These ships were built to last 20 years. We've heard this before, guys, about these Fletcher-class destroyers. They've all surpassed their 80th year, and as museum ships, we just don't have the resources. There were 1,500 sailors that were available to maintain these ships when they were in active service. We have 5 full-time. But all in all, that's excellent news. Sullivan's is getting maybe going to get a little love ahead of the dry docking. And of course, don't forget, Kidd is still in dry dock, Sullivan's sister ship, and she will be there till sometime in either October or November. So glad to hear it. All right. Before we move on, I have a question for you guys. Last week, I introduced a new segment here on the live stream, and I forgot to ask a little feedback. I was curious to say, this week in history, it was something I did for the first time last week. And most of you guys that are here in the chat tonight were here for that last week. And I am curious to know, what were your thoughts on that segment? Did you guys enjoy that? And would you like to see more of those? Um, you're definitely going to see more of it tonight because I do, in fact, have some topics for this week in history. But I want to get you guys' opinions. Skip says yes, please. Excellent. So there's one opinion. What about the rest of you guys? What did you think? Did you guys like that? Karen says yes. I thought it was Eric says I thought it was a great addition. Well, wonderful. Anna says yes. Mark says yes. Well, good. I'm excited about that. I love that. When you bring in something new like this and people like it, that's um, and since all of you guys here are the regulars, I think it's something we can do going forward. And I found some good websites with some good information, and it's not going to be just like maritime history. We're gonna run the gambit here of like different things, different historical events. So I'm sorry guys, I'm doing something here. Just bear with me for a sec. Let's see. That's nope, nope, nope. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, this week in history, guys. So let's get started with that. We're gonna go here. So August 15th, 1914, after some 10 years of work, the Panama Canal opened to ships. So there's our first one. Let's see. Next one, August 14th, 1917. No, not ready to go to this guy yet. In August 14th, 1917, China declared war on Germany and Austria-Hungary in World War I. Ozzy's here. Ozzy and the glorious potato room. All right, now we're ready to go to this guy. Before I read this one, does anybody know who this person here is? Does anybody know who this guy is? Let's see. I'll do a little countdown in my head. 10. And the reason World War One started? No, Anna, not. Nope. I think you might be referring to the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. That is not who this gentleman is. So this gentleman is named Ozzy got it correct. Leader of Germany. So on August 11th, 1919, the Weimar Constitution was promulgated. The Weimar Republic was in power in Germany from 1918 to 1933. No, Eric, not Kaiser Wilhelm. Arguably the most famous individual in the Weimar Republic was this gentleman, Paul von Hindenburg, who held the presidency from 1925 until his death in 1934. Now, notice I said his name is Paul von Hindenburg. So, in case you were wondering, yes, this is the man that the Hindenburg airship is named for. Unfortunately, the Zeppelin, yes, the Hindenburg Zeppelin. Yep. Unfortunately, there's something else that he is known for, and he unknowingly altered history forever when he did this. In 1933, Paul von Hindenburg named a new chancellor of Germany. Anybody can guess who he named as the new chancellor of Germany in 1933? Eric, the blimp guy. Who did Paul von Hindenburg name Chancellor of Germany in 1933? Anybody can guess. Let's see if we get any answers. I'm going to do a little countdown in my head again. Eric, you got it. Paul von Hindenburg named Adolf Hitler Chancellor of Germany in 1933. No, Mark, not Elvis. I don't think even Elvis was alive in 1933. And we all know what happened after that. Our next one, let's see. August 11th, 1929. Everybody should know who this guy is. August 11th, 1929, in a game against the Cleveland Indians, Babe Ruth hit his 500th career home run, becoming the first baseball player to reach that milestone. And this is all I had. It didn't show for some reason. Yep, the Babe. Okay, trivia question. Who did Babe Ruth play for? Does anybody know? Who did Babe Ruth play for? Anyone? Come on, guys. This is an easy one. You guys know this. Yes. Mark and Skip got it. New York, and yes, the Yankees. Everybody's got it. The Yankees, of course. The Babe played for the Yankees. Next one up. August 12th, 1961. Construction of the Berlin Wall began. The Berlin Wall became a prominent symbol of the Cold War. And remember, in 1987, President Ronald Reagan famously called on Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev to tear down this wall. 2 years later, Soviet Union began to collapse and the wall was opened. Two more. I think everybody knows who these guys are. The Fab Four, as they were called. But what was their real name? Of course, it was the Beatles. On August 12th, 1966, during a press conference, John Lennon of the Beatles apologized for saying that the band was more popular than Jesus now. The comment sparked protests and album burnings. I love the Beatles. Age, what's your favorite Beatles song? You sure it isn't the Monkees? You know what's funny about that, Anna? I kind of went on this binge with the Monkees last week. When I was a kid, you had Nick at Night, and in the 80s they were starting to play like the reruns of the Monkees. So I went on this little binge where I watched a few episodes of the Monkees last weekend, and watched a few of their videos. Yeah, you have impeccable taste. Yes. Hey Jude is my absolute favorite Beatles song. Let's see. Next topic. Mark, you mentioned Elvis earlier. August 16th, 1977. The King, Elvis Presley, passed away. He was 42 years old. If Elvis were alive today, he would be 90 years old. Think about that. So, long time ago. What's your favorite Elvis song? I know, are you an Elvis fan? I actually went to Graceland a few years ago. Eric, how many here remember that? Before my time, Eric. I I got a few songs of it. I was not a big Elvis fan. I only came to appreciate him a few years ago, actually. Uh, I started checking out a lot of his music leading up to this big family trip we took to Graceland a few years ago. Those are some good ones, and those are in my top as well. Suspicious Minds, In the Ghetto, uh, Skip Says Blue Suede Shoes, mostly all like mostly all Elvis songs. Age says haven't been to Graceland. I like I said, I went to Graceland a few years ago. If you guys want, I can do a live stream where I can show you guys a bunch of the photos from when I went to Graceland. Let's see. Karen says I had a dream for a name of the song. I think you mean uh, If I Can Dream, which I love that song, by the way. That's also one of my favorites. Viva Las Vegas. Uh, so, yeah. And our last one for this week in history is a more recent one. Janie Lane from Warren passed away on August 11th of 2011. By the way, when I was a kid, you guys see the shirt he's wearing? That's from their big album, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich. I had that shirt when I was a kid. Of course, I had the cassette too. So, Anna, well, Anna, I know you and I kind of have some similar tastes, and I think we're both some old metalheads here. Um, yep. And by the way, I did listen to some Ozzy today, and I still can't. Even now, I can't get through Changes and Mama, I'm Coming Home without getting emotional about it. The rest I can do. Uh, so that is it for this week in history. These actually went on a little longer than I was expecting them to, which is fine. It's no big deal. That just means I can save more content for extra streams coming down the road. But I wanted to talk tonight with you guys about, and let me get set up for what we're going to be talking about next. Let's see, just bear with me a second. All right. I want to do this. So we're going to go to our trusty Google Maps. And there we are. So what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to spend some time talking about some of the museums I've been to this year. And we're going to start, if you don't know what we're looking at, this is an aerial view of downtown New Orleans. And we're going to be talking about, to start off with, and we'll probably actually do the whole episode now, for the National World War II Museum. Has anyone ever been to the National World War II Museum? And while we're looking at this overhead view, I'm going to show you guys some spots on the map before we zoom into the museum of different things you have seen, different videos of different places in New Orleans that you have seen already on the channel. So now, of course, that's the Superdome right there, in case you're wondering. Age says, yes, I'm trying to watch the road trip episodes. Well, good. I hope you enjoy those. But anyway, let's zoom in. It's right around here. So yeah, this is the National World War II Museum right here. This big wing looking thing. Now, if we go a little bit over closer to the river, let's see. Let's zoom in. I need to, where are we at? I am trying to find, there it is. So right here, this is the Audubon Aquarium, which you guys have seen a video on, which that video came out last year. Eric, I'm ashamed to say that I live so close and haven't been to it. I don't get to New Orleans often. Eric, um, definitely, you need to go. You really need to go. But also, one of the things I was going to mention, and well, I'll save it for a minute. And right here, if we go a little further up, Skip, yeah, you are reading my mind. So here she is. The Steamboat Natchez is right here. And that museum, zoo, aqua, insectarium were on my list before my cruise, but I didn't get to any of them. You definitely want to get to those. Those are some of my favorite spots in the city. So yeah, you can see this is the Steamboat Natchez right here. And you've got the aquarium down here and a little over here. There's the World War II Museum. A little further down the street, there's the Superdome. So you got all of that in close proximity to each other. Your son proposed. Wow, really? Let's highlight that. Your son proposed to his wife on that boat. Oh, I'll bet the folks on the Natchez loved that. That's pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna highlight our street view. I'm going to show you guys what the front of the museum looks like. And we may be able to get some views on the inside of the museum as well. So let's see here. Let's go to street view. And here we are. This is the main entrance right here. You've got 4 different buildings that are part of the National World War II Museum. And I've said this before on this past streams. It is impossible to get through every single aspect of this museum in one day. It is absolutely gigantic. So yeah, here's the main entrance right here. This building is where you're going to go in to buy your tickets. You can cross over this bridge as part of the museum. You get you from one side of the street to the other because you've got the other 3 buildings right here. So let's see if we can get to the main entrance. Yep. So there you go. You go in right through there. And what's cool is when you go in there, you go through the main entrance, and that's where you buy your tickets. And from there, you walk to what looks like the side of an old train. And you get in this old train and you sit down and you start watching some videos. And it's like essentially like heading off to war. That's what they're simulating. And you're riding a train and you're heading out to war. And on the side where like windows would be, they're showing essentially like the countryside. You're riding the train through the countryside and you're listening to some stories from people, war heroes essentially. I'm still happily married. We're going on 15 years. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations to you and your family, Eric. I'm glad to hear that. So that's what you start off doing. And I'll show you guys this real quick as well as you go down the street right here, because you can see a little bit more. So this building is part of the museum, but I've never actually toured this building. I don't know if you can tour what's in there. I think that's where they do like a lot of the restoration stuff, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, you've got right here on the corner, you've got this one of the many shops that you can buy stuff in at the museum. But yeah, you can see this building here. Then you go down the street here. All this is the museum. All of this. Let's see, there's the parking garage right there. And let's see, I want to see if I can show you. Oh yeah, yeah. So here is the restaurant right here. One of the restaurants. You got like an old school looking soda shop in the first building, where the main building where you buy your tickets at. But then you also have this here, the American Sector restaurant, and this is part of the museum. And you keep going. All these buildings are the museum, guys, from this entire block, from here all the way up to that corner. This is all the museum, and you've got two more buildings that you can't see from here. And that was going to be dressing up, doing YouTubes where I could take away from the vacation because it's for themselves. Cool. So with that, so that's kind of the exterior of the building right there. So I didn't get to get as many pictures of the inside as I wanted, but actually, you know what? Let's do this. This might actually work out better than some of the pictures I've got. Let's see. Let's get out of street view and see if we can actually get some shots of inside the museum. It looks like you can. So let's do this. Where'd my mouse go? Okay, right. Let's see what that does. So yeah, this is one of the last buildings you get to is the big aircraft hangar, and you've got like 3 different levels of items you can see. So this is actually the second level right here, and you can see they've got all these images or pictures of veterans / heroes right here. On this side, you go down, you see those stairs up there. That leads to another building, which takes forever to get through. And then let's see if we can go on the catwalk. Yeah, so here is the second level, and we're looking down at what's on the floor. And if you look over here in this corner, you see this place called Final Mission. It's called Final Mission, the USS Tang submarine experience. In there, you get to basically you walk inside. It's like a recreation of a sub, and you're looking up and you're watching video of the Tang, the USS Tang, and we've talked about the Tang recently on here. Where yes, Anna, simulator. It's the final mission of the Tang, where the USS Tang unintentionally torpedoes itself. So the Tang is attacking a Japanese convoy, and they launch a torp. One of the torps somehow circles back around, hits the ship in the stern, and sinks it. And 9 people out of the I think it was 187 crew, 9 survived. Some remained on some got off on the surface, but some of them actually went to the bottom. No, it was 187 feet deep. That's where I'm getting that number from. She sunk in 187 feet of water, and some of the guys actually got out the sub and made it to the surface. And that's what the USS Tang experience is recreating for you. So you can see up here, you know, there's a 3rd level and there's a 4th level into here. And, you know, you can see there's more planes up there suspended higher from the ceiling, and the 3rd and 4th catwalks will just give you a better view if you're looking down. The pressure at that depth had to be horrible. I imagine it wasn't great, but 187 feet, you know, clearly it was survivable. Avenger airplane. Which one is that, Mark? Avenger airplane. Maybe you can't really tell what that one is. But yeah, if you look out here, there's also like a pavilion out here. And if you look real good right here across the street, you can see the main building. But yeah, you've got this little pavilion out here that you can go to. The gray one. Okay. Yeah, you guys really need to read the book on the Tang that I read recently, because it's absolutely incredible. I guess it won't let us get down here. But anyway, there's the exit out of the aircraft pavilion. You hang a left. You go down a little ways, and there's an exhibit room on the right. And every single year, it's a different exhibit. Then you go a bit further up, and you've got the restaurant that I just showed you guys. You need to figure out where my library is at, if there is one. Yeah, and find that book if you can. But yeah, you got the restaurant. Let's see if we can get some more, some different views of the museum. Let's see, what's this view? Okay, so this is still this is like from the main entrance when you first walk into the hangar. Anyone watching, listen to the Unauthorized History of the Pacific War podcast. One of the hosts was the main guy. Oh, I would definitely be interested in checking that out. Let me see if I can get some pictures of other buildings here. Let's go here. I'm not sure what this room is. Let's see. Let's go. So here is one of, I've never actually watched a performance at the museum, but they get like, you can see there's clearly a stage here. Oh yeah, that is the name of the book, Skip. Well, that's the well, no. Richard O'Kane, he was the captain, I believe. I'm gonna have to look up the name of the book. Yeah, O'Kane was the captain. Oh, cool. Let's see. Uh, RB and Wolf been listening while driving, commenting while stopped in the drive-through. Looks like the news segment, like This Week in History. Good addition. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But yeah, this is they actually have like stage performances. They have like, bandstands, and they get the girls to dress up, in the 40s stuff, and they do performances. I've never actually done that yet at the museum, and I really need to do that because I would love to see that. There's also a theater inside the museum. It's called the Solomon Theater, and that's named for a local family that has a bunch of, or did have a bunch of movie theaters in this area way back many years ago. And that is where you can watch the Beyond All Boundaries, the movie that is exclusive to the World War II Museum, which is, I believe, is narrated by Tom Hanks. I don't know if he stars in it, but I'm fairly certain he narrates it. But going back to this view, you can see there's two more buildings over here. And what's in those buildings, and I guess we can start looking at some of the pictures now that I got. Like I said, I didn't get to find as many pictures as I wanted to show you guys. But let's see. Let's pull up some pictures here. And let's share the screen. And here we go. And I'm kind of all over the place with this. It's if you've been there, you'd know it's just such a massive museum. It's, So here we are. What you're looking at right here, this is outside the museum. And if you can see what it says right here, Atlantic Wall fragments. So these are pieces of the wall that were at Normandy. This is part of it right here. And this is outside the museum. And you watched Saving Private Ryan 2 times on TV. I still haven't watched Greyhound. Oh, Mark, you are in for a treat when you watch Greyhound. I promise you. And seriously, I'm not just saying that because the kid's in it. It's a really good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So this is one of the first things you see. And the thumbnail for this live stream is also outside the museum as well. This is inside of the first building. The way it starts off is the first building, you actually start the exhibit, the main exhibit on the second floor in the first building. And it starts off with all the events leading up to the war. And from there, it you go throughout the entire history of the war. And I think when you get to the third floor, I think the first exhibit you go into on the third floor is the beginning of the Normandy invasion. Because for those who do not know, um, the original version of this museum, it was originally called the National D-Day Museum. And it grew and grew and grew to the point where it became the National World War II Museum. So, yes, Mark, of course, this is an actual fragment of the USS Arizona. And this is towards the beginning of the exhibit, because, like I said, or at least of this exhibit, it starts off with everything pre-war, what's all leading up to the war, why war breaks out. And of course, you get to Pearl Harbor, and obviously, the Arizona. And this is not the only fragment of the USS Arizona I've seen, by the way. If you go to the National Naval Aviation Museum in Pensacola, they have a fragment of the Arizona as well. Anyway, let's move on. This is further on in the same exhibit, and I absolutely love this. There comes a point where right before you walk into this, and this is like a recreation of a 1940s style house. And right before you walk into it, you've got like this display of like Uncle Sam wants you, the iconic poster, and they they show like all the different different newspaper clippings and whatnot, getting into the war. Yes, and a fireside chats. So you walk in to this back room you walk into the kitchen, which is a replica, and you can actually like open the drawers, and they have artifacts and whatnot in the kitchen drawers. And then you walk into the living room. You can see a fireplace right to the right. You've got a sofa. They let you sit on the sofa too. You can sit there and you can listen to the FDR fireside chats. And that's one of my favorite things about any museum I go to is like walking into these 1940s style recreation things, because the National Naval Aviation Museum also has something like this, but they have kind of like a little mini Main Street. You go into into a little grocery store. You go into a recreation of a house, for example. USS Alabama even has something similar that they've recently done. It's a new edition. It's all behind plexiglass, but you walk in and there's a living room, and you've got the father sitting on the couch, and he's got the newspaper in his hand. The little boy, his son, is on the ground reading or playing with the dog. Mom is in the kitchen, and they've got the Blue Star pennant in the living room. So they obviously have someone, maybe an older son or daughter, that is fighting in the war. Hearing his voice make that dreaded announcement about the war just gets me. Creepy mannequins. They have mannequins in the Aviation Museum and the Alabama. There are no mannequins in this one in the National World War II Museum, at least not in this section. So let's see what's next. This right here. This is on the third level. They have this gigantic wall recreating in like little models. So they're not like super detailed models, but there's models of what it would have looked like if you were a German and you're on the D-Day invasion and you see the Allied fleet coming at you. They got planes hanging from the ceiling. You've got all the different type of ships coming at you. And right in that area, you've got some pictures like this. Now, at first glance, you might think this is a Fletcher because the bridge looks similar, but it's not. We can see that this is Battleship Arkansas to the left, refueling the destroyer USS Thompson off the coast of Normandy on June 6th. Pulled up some information about the Thompson, of course, so we can, let's see. USS Thompson was a Gleaves class destroyer that went on to become an Ellison class destroyer minesweeper. She was the second Navy ship named Thompson and the first named in honor of Robert M. Thompson. The Gleaves class replaced the Benson class, and then the Gleaves class was replaced by the Fletchers. Of course, Kidd, Sullivan's, that whole group. I forget what section this is in, but this is all dog tags, if you notice. Zoom in, you can see these are all dog tags, different type of dog tags. And I think, I could be wrong, but I believe that a different shape means a different branch of the service. I think that's what it means, but I'm not 100% sure. 16.4 million Americans served in World War II, fighting to preserve freedom around the world. If my audio is wigging out. Hello? Test. Okay. Okay, well, I guess it's a good, well, we only got a few minutes left anyway, so I guess at least it waited till the end. If it goes out completely, guys, let me know. So this exhibit is in a completely different building. You've got one whole building dedicated to what they're calling the Road to Berlin and the Road to Tokyo, which chronicles towards the end of both theaters. Is it still a lot of static? Is it clearing up at all? I don't know why it's doing that. I haven't changed any settings. Mark says can still understand me. Okay. Okay, well, all right, well, I'll try and explain what this is real quick, and I guess we can wrap it up, because I'm almost done with the pictures anyway. But you go through, this is on the road to Berlin, and this section is when you get to the Battle of the Bulge, which for those who do not know is the last big Nazi offensive in the war, in the winter of 1944 and 45. And that is the exhibit itself is spectacular. So let's see. Oh, well, you know what? Actually, we're just going to skip that. I was going to go into the National WWII Museum of the Gulf that I went to, which was coincidentally the last time I saw the SS United States with their funnels on. But we're at an hour anyway, so we can go ahead and call it right there. I can just save all that content for more live streams. Before we go, I mentioned earlier when we were talking about Elvis, do you guys, I've got a crap ton of pictures from when we went to Graceland. Would you guys like a live stream where I talk about the time I went to Graceland and show you guys pictures of that? Sounds like a loose connection kind of thing. That's weird because my internet is hardwired and my computer is the only thing connected to my internet right now. So I'm sorry guys, I'm not sure what's happening. Now, everyone says yes. Okay. Well, I will definitely add that to the list of things. And one last thing before we go, I have reached out to a person who is at a museum ship that has never been on the stream before, in a museum ship that it's not Kidd, it's not the Buffalo Naval Park. It's someone new. with a new museum ship. I've made contact with someone, and I am in the process of gauging their interest, see if they would like to come on here and talk about their museum ship with us. I am not ready to share with you guys yet who that person is and what ship that is, because nothing is final. We're still kind of in the early stages of that. But I'm not telling you, Mark. It's a secret. I don't want to reveal anything just yet, because I don't want to get you guys excited, and if it falls through, then everybody's bummed out, me included. So I'm just gonna keep it a secret for now. So yeah. Well, it's not a new museum ship, a new as in a person at a museum ship that we've never talked to before. You know, it's no one at the Kidd, it's no one at the Buffalo Naval Park, and is what I'm saying. Not a new museum ship, so to speak. But anyway, yeah. So you guys seem to be on board with this Graceland idea. So I'm definitely going to add that to the list of ideas, you know, for live streams, for future live streams, because I've always got the wheels turning. And of course, I've pitched some ideas to Tim as well, see if he wants to come back on, to Shane at the Buffalo Naval Park. So you know, the wheels are always turning. You know, I'm trying to each week to come up with some interesting topics for you guys. But anyway, that is going to wrap us up for this week, guys. I thank you all so much, as always, for coming and hanging out with me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And everyone have a great weekend. And until the next time, you guys know the drill. Drive safely.